Let's be honest, we've all become a tad too cozy with our screens, and it's easy to shrug it off, thinking, oh, everybody does it. Everybody scrolls, everybody uses their phone. It's no big deal. It's just a part of life now. But here's the thing, just because it's normal doesn't mean that it's healthy or beneficial. A couple of years ago, I kind of had a bit of a wake-up call. I began to notice just how much my screen time was impacting me. And as I started tuning into that and becoming more mindful of how I was spending my time, I realized that my screen time was holding me back in so many more ways than I could imagine. And it wasn't just that I was wasting time. It went deeper than that. It was holding me back from the life that I really wanted to live. And if you're here, I know that you are also someone who craves a beautiful and intentional life. So in this video, I'm sharing 7 subtle ways that your screen time could be holding you back from living that life that you desire. Hi, I'm Lucy, and I'm here to help you live by design, not distraction. So let's get into it. The first way that your screen time might be holding you back is that it stops you from engaging in deep work. Deep work is a term coined by Cal Newport in this book, which I love. I read it about 3 times now. Essentially, it's being able to focus without interruption so that you're able to produce your best work. It could be writing a really great blog post. It could be preparing a presentation. It could be writing the first chapter of your book. They're the things that are going to make a real impact in your life and your business and whatever it might be. But our screen time and our distractions are the biggest obstacle to being able to achieve that state of deep work. Those quick peeks at our phone, those buzzing notifications interrupting our thought process, the emails popping up, they all pull us away from our focus. And each time we switch our attention between the thing that we're wanting to focus on and the thing that's distracting us, it can take our brain between 10 and 30 minutes to get back into that state of flow. And on average, we're checking our phones upwards of 100 times a day. And that's a lot of valuable time that our brain is playing catch up rather than being fully present and engaged in our work. So this constant task switching and fragmented attention is more impactful than you think. It's not just about the time that you lose to distractions, but it's also about the quality of work. Deep work allows you to tap into your full potential and create thoughtfully, and to find joy in the simple act of complete focus, and to really get that satisfaction from really immersing yourself in a task and doing something that you're really passionate about. And especially when juggling between work, marriage, kids, and all the commitments that come along with that, having the ability to really hunker down and produce deep quality work without interruption for whether it's 30 minutes or 2 hours that you have, it's really about milking that time for all it's worth and making sure that those pockets of time that you do have are given to the things as much as possible that matter most to you. The second way that your screen time might be holding you back is that it lowers your vibe. Your vibe is your energy, your mood, and your spirit. And raising your vibration is all about lifting those things and nurturing the energy that you want to bring into your life, and also the energy that you want to be putting out into the world, whether it's feeling positive, confident, at peace with yourself. And when you're in that high vibe state, life just seems to flow. It feels more abundant, more purposeful, and more light. As Aristotle said, the energy of the mind is the essence of life. But here's the thing, screen time, whether it's on social media or watching TV or watching the news, it can often dim that light. And it also takes us away from real life experiences that could uplift our mood and energy. We're spending so much time in these spaces online and not checking in with ourselves enough and not nurturing our own vibe and our own well-being. And also questioning, is this something that I need to be tuning into? Because it doesn't feel good. For example, to protect my emotional energy, my creative energy, and my physical energy, I try not to check my phone in the morning, because otherwise certain messages, social media, news, or whatever it might be could have a significant effect on my mind and mean that I'm not able to show up in the way that I want to. And since I've created better boundaries and more intention around technology and social media, my mood and happiness, or my vibe, have been absolutely transformed. And that's had a huge positive knock-on effect in my life. And you're always going to have ups and downs with your vibe. No one's expecting you to be in a high vibe state all the time. And in fact, that's not healthy. But technology is putting us into a low vibe state far more often than is healthy. So it's incredibly important to listen to your body and your intuition when it comes to your screen time. It's about paying attention to how different types of media, television, scrolling make you feel and adjusting your habits accordingly. Plus, when we raise our own vibe, we raise the vibe of all of those people around us. You know, when you're around someone and they feel magnetic, you just feel your vibe lifting. That is high vibe in action. It creates this chain reaction of joy and lightheartedness and contentment and connection. And that, my friends, is what our world needs more of. The third way that your screen time might be holding you back is by procrastinating on your sleep. Sleep is one of, if not the most important aspect of our health. Yet it's often the first thing we sacrifice for a late night scroll on social media or one more episode of our favorite show. But here's the thing, living your best life means being healthy, and that includes getting enough sleep. And yes, I am about to quote Beyonce, because she said this: having peace, happiness, and healthiness is my definition of beauty. And you can't have any of that without sleep. Social media platforms and things like Netflix have been designed to be so immersive that we lose track of time. We get lost in the endless scroll and the endless watching. And before we know it, it's way past our bedtime and we're left feeling rubbish the next day. And we're also not giving ourselves a chance to properly unwind without screens before we go to sleep. So not only do we delay sleep, but we also impact the quality of our sleep. Sometimes we put off going to bed as a kind of way to try and reclaim some control over our time, especially if we feel like we don't have control of our time during the day. So we might try and catch up on all the stuff that we've missed on social media, or we give ourselves that feeling of comfort and indulgence from our favorite TV show if we've had a bit of a hectic day. And this probably all sounds quite familiar, right? And it's not always a bad thing. I'm not telling you to not do these things at all. But the cost of procrastinating on our sleep is our health and our happiness and all sorts of other things. So we need to be creating a better and more consistent bedtime routine and making sure that we give ourselves a chance to wind down without screens before we go to sleep. Your best life is a well-rested life. So stop procrastinating on your sleep and start prioritizing rest. The fourth way that your screen time might be holding you back is that it takes time and energy away from what matters most to you. We often don't think that we're using that much time or wasting that much energy on distractions and screen time, because very often we do it in small pockets of time. So we think, oh, this isn't going to make much of an impact. But these small moments really add up, and we need to protect our time and our energy at all costs. They're our most valuable resources. They're our bread and butter. And if we keep losing them to stuff that ultimately doesn't matter, we won't have enough left in us to then invest in the stuff that actually really does matter to us. The stuff that is a priority. The stuff that lights us up and adds richness and joy to our lives. So I want you to think what your priorities and desires are for the season of life that you're in right now? What do you want to be present for? What do you want to be focusing on? What do you need more of? Perhaps you need time for self-care, more rest, more sleep. Remember, this isn't just about doing more and being more productive. You know by now that that is not what I'm about. But what matters most to you right now that you want to be reserving your time and energy for. Then think about how much time and energy you're spending in distraction or on screen time activities that really aren't important or fulfilling or healthy for you. Start to shift yourself from where you are right now to where you want to be. So look after your time and energy and focus them as much as possible on the things that hold the highest value for you. The fifth way that our screen time can subtly hold us back is that it can hinder our creativity. Creativity is our superpower as individuals. It runs through everything that we do, our passions, our hobbies, our work, how we think about the world. It's what makes us unique. But when we're constantly consuming content online, we're not giving ourselves the space to tap into our own creativity. We're not giving ourselves the chance to think, to dream, and to imagine just as us, as individuals. Instead, we do these things, but through the lens of everything that we see online. And this constant consumption stifles our creativity. When we start second guessing what we should create and write and share, we're pushing our innate creativity and uniqueness to the side. And I know how hard it is from first-hand experience. When we're struggling with creative blocks, we try desperately to look for answers and inspiration on social media and online. We look at what everyone else is doing, thinking that that is going to be the answer. But we're looking for the answer outside of ourselves, instead of looking inward, which is where our creativity and our magic lies. You have unique talents, unique gifts, unique ideas, unique thoughts. And I don't want you to dull your creativity simply because you're comparing yourself to everyone else out there. I want you to be able to step into your true and innate creativity. And I actually spoke about this topic in the context of feeling disconnected from ourselves and our unique voice in my video last week, so feel free to go and check that out. The next subtle way that your screen time could be holding you back from living your best life is by keeping you in your comfort zone. It's so easy to spend hours scrolling through Instagram or watching Netflix. It's comfortable, it's familiar, and it doesn't require any effort. Plus, it provides instant gratification, a quick dopamine hit that makes us feel good in that moment, or that satisfies a need for entertainment or stimulation. But here's the thing, constantly taking that easy route or constantly seeking out those dopamine hits isn't going to lead us to a life that we truly love, because it can make it harder to do hard things. It can lower our tolerance for discomfort, and it makes it much easier and more likely that we're going to give up when things get tough. So it can prevent us from pushing ourselves or from stepping outside our comfort zone. But that's what we need to do to keep growing and learning and becoming the best versions of ourselves. As Eddie Harris said, the sooner you step away from your comfort zone, the sooner you'll realize that it wasn't really all that comfortable. So we need to start training ourselves to better tolerate discomfort and to delay gratification and push ourselves out of our comfort zone more often, because that's often where our growth lies. And it's how we create a life that feels fulfilling and purposeful and aligned. Because I know that you have things that you want to do that require you to do hard things and to think harder thoughts. I don't think you'd be here otherwise. But you need to start finding comfort in discomfort so that you can start expanding your comfort zone and enriching your life. And this doesn't mean you have to take huge leaps. It can start with small steps, like turning off your phone for an hour each day to read a book instead, or choosing to go for a walk instead of watching another episode of your favorite series. It's about making small, consistent changes over time that will lead to big transformations. The next subtle way that your screen time could be holding you back is by disconnecting you from the the present moment. To be present means to be fully in the moment. It's where our life comes alive, and it's where our life actually happens. Our mind isn't in the past, it isn't in the future, and it isn't distracted by anything. It's right there, soaking up the beauty of that moment. And as Thich Nhat Hanh reminds us, life is available only in the present moment. But with so many distractions and our screens vying for our attention, we're living less and less in the present moment and becoming more and more preoccupied. We're forgetting to stop and savor the simple things in life, and we're finding ourselves not being truly present in our own lives. And if we're not careful, our screens are going to stop us from experiencing the true joys in life, soaking in those small daily experiences and the world around us, and giving ourselves the space to just be in that moment. So have a think about where in your current daily routine you feel truly present, a moment where your mind feels centered and you don't feel compelled to reach for your phone or turn on the TV, even if it's just a tiny thing in your day, like having a coffee or having a shower or just going for a walk. Where do you feel most connected and present in your life? And start thinking about how you can bring more of that into your daily life and how you can reduce your screen time or swap your screen time to accommodate that. And a reminder from Eckhart Tolle: wherever you are, be there totally. And remember, this isn't about feeling guilty or beating yourself up. It's about gaining awareness and making intentional decisions about how you use technology and how you spend your time, your energy, and your attention. And also tuning in and noticing how your screen time could be holding you back from living your best life. And if you fancy it, I do have a course and community called the Screen Time Edit, which is all about cultivating a healthier and more intentional relationship with technology. And it's for anyone who wants to navigate this digital age with more balance, more grace, and more joy. So I've popped the link in the description box below, and you're welcome to go and check it out. I would love to see you there. Remember that taking control of your screen time is a journey, but each step you take is a step towards living your best life. So thank you so much for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you next week.